Wow. Look at this.
I don't want to touch the book, so.
Oh, no.
I let the archive.
That's why you bring a professional.
Right, exactly. Right. So I was like, do you want to show him the first one for George Washington?
So this is, no, it wasn't 1789 before. So this is the first meeting of the presidential electors from 1789. So here they are electing George Washington.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They did good.
No vice president.
So the vice president at the time was the person who finished as the runner-up
Yes.
in the election.
Oh.
We voted.
Who was that?
In 1789, it was John Adams.
Right, but we voted for Robert Hanson Harrison.
Robert Hanson Harrison.
Yes.
It's a great Jeopardy question.
Right. He got 6 electoral votes.
Wow. This is extraordinary. This is such a gift.
Yeah. Then another good one is...
I'm shocked you're allowed to touch this with your hands.
So what we say is generally if you have clean hands without lotion on them, that's probably better than using gloves because you lose manual dexterity with gloves.
Really?
And I'll tell a dirty secret, if you ever see someone handling old records with white cotton gloves on, they're doing it for show. It's really hard to turn pages like that without tearing them.
So when I touch like really old documents, I can just say, no, I have no lotion on my hands.
Right, exactly.
If your hands are clean, your hands are
I'm
clean,
good.
support it from below, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So here is, let's use this. And this is 1872, where one of the presidential candidates dies before the electors meet.
Yes.
They didn't know what to do, so they had to kind of make it up as they went along.
Yeah.
And then this was my favorite one, though, is I had it marked before. 1864, where Maryland finally gets around to voting for Abraham Lincoln.
Now he said finally gets around to voting for Abraham Lincoln. What's the story?
So in 1860, Maryland didn't vote for Lincoln.
Yeah.
Maryland was not all in on Lincoln initially.
I thought when Jared was telling the story, I thought that was a fascinating story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fascinating story.
No.
Shows the complexity of our state.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what's the oldest one, or the most recent one in this book?
So the most recent one in here is 1980. Show you that.
And then we went to type.
I went to-
Did not have that
Yeah,
at my
so
office.
the last year that it was handwritten was 1980.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some good handwriting.
Yeah. The last time I was here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The last time I was here, I was told that the person who did it in 1980 got the job because she had the best handwriting in the office.
Really? Yes. I could see.
Yeah.
I could see. Wow. This is beautiful. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Everyone can be seated. It's just a little Hello, I'm Jared Marinus. I'm the State Administrator of Elections. Today's meeting is being supported by the work of the State Board of Elections, and I want to thank the Governor's staff, Secretary of State Lee, and her staff for coordinating the room and the live feed for this meeting right now. If you want to learn more about today's meeting and Maryland's role in the Electoral College and other interesting related facts about elections, there's a little book over there that you can have for free, but an update will be needed soon since it ended in 2016. So elections are always changing and full of interesting information. Today marks the 60th meeting of the Electoral College, the Diamond Anniversary. This represents another part in the election for president. First, voters from every state cast their ballots on November 5th, 2024, electing the electors. And then in Maryland, we elect 10. Each state is allocated the number of electors that equals the number of senators, always 2, plus its number in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is 8 for us, so that's why we have 10. Today, the electors are going to meet and vote directly for President and Vice President of the United States. And then finally, on January 6th, in a joint session of Congress, the results of the Electoral College are announced and the President is officially declared. The first Electoral College meeting occurred on February 4th, 1789. 6 electors met and voted for George Washington and Maryland's own Robert Hanson Harrison, a colonel in the Revolutionary War and chief judge of the Maryland General Court. George Washington received unanimous support from every elector from the 10 states participating in the first Electoral College. The first act of the first Congress was to ratify the results of the meeting, so this is why it's such a historical event. 4 years later, Washington was again elected unanimously by the Electoral College, the only president to ever receive such an honor. Maryland is one of 6 states that has voted in every presidential election, 60 in total. And I want to thank State Archives for bringing the old book here, and that contains the minutes from every Electoral College meeting that we have here, beginning in 1789. The Electoral College was devised as a compromise between the Founding Fathers, who wanted an independent president. After several methods of electing a president were debated, including a direct election, the Founding Fathers decided that allowing the state legislators to elect electors would be the best. Maryland has been using the Electoral College method for electing its state senators since the Revolutionary War. In fact, for Hamilton fans out there, Hamilton actually used Maryland's model as a defense of the Electoral College in its Federalist Papers. He witnessed firsthand the Electoral College method of elections during his visits to Annapolis. Since he was here, he might have been actually in this room because this is the historic building to begin with as well. So it could have been in the room where it happened. So yes, the electors are required to meet at the State House. They're going to take an oath, then cast their votes for President and Vice President who receive the plurality of votes in the great state of Maryland. And then after the meeting here, the electoral votes then are sealed and transmitted to the President of the Senate, which is the Vice President of the United States, who then, like I said, on January 6th, opens and reads them before both houses of Congress. There are a total of 538 electoral votes, and it takes 270 required to elect the President. So now with this, it is my privilege and honor to invite the Governor of Westmore to open these proceedings of the 60th Electoral College meeting. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's great to be here with all of you to not just to be part of history, but to be part of democracy. And Jared, I want to thank you so much for just the diligent and the stalwart leadership throughout this entire cycle, and frankly throughout your entire career. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so before we get started with the business of today's meeting, I want to first start by recognizing the significance of the place that we're actually in right now. The significance of this building and the significance of this room. This is the governor's reception room. It's one of the oldest parts of the Maryland State House, which used to be the capital of the United States of America. In fact, it is the only state capital that used to be the capital of the United States. And directly below us is the old Senate chamber. And directly below us is a place where General George Washington resigned his military commission in 1783. The first time in our nation's history where someone walked into the building as a general and walked out as a farmer, with the basic statement of, the power doesn't belong to me, the power belongs to the people. That was the first ever peaceful transition of power in American history, and it happened downstairs. It set the precedent of how electoral transitions should happen in this country, and we are a nation of people and not kings. That this is a democracy, not a monarch, and democracy is our greatest heirloom. Our democracy is not something that we invented. Our democracy is something that we inherited. And it's something, just like any other heirloom, that we will pass off to the next generation just as beautiful as the way that we found it. And on November 5th, the American people engaged in their democracy and they exercised their right to vote. And today, we officially recognize the people's will. The people all across this state and country with the meeting of this gathering for the Electoral College. And I want to personally thank Maryland's electors for raising their hands to serve. The people in this room represent the beautiful tapestry that represents our state, every corner, every background, every voice is heard, every face is seen. We have leaders from local and county and state leaders and leadership. We have Marylanders both inside and outside of government. However, the one thing that unites them all is each and every one of them are patriots and people who we are thankful were willing to raise their hand and serve in this time. And our administration is honored to host each and every one of you in Annapolis. Our democracy depends on the service of regular people who make the choice to step up and do their part to safeguard the American journey. And in addition to the representatives in the room, this election was only made possible thanks to the many contributions of Marylanders all across the state, and that means the people who manned the polls, the people who drove voters to the ballot box, the people who ensured that their communities were safe, the people who made sure that our elections were going to be free and fair and transparent and secure, and that our election results were going to be honored. And I want to thank our extraordinary State Administrator of Elections, Jared DeBarnis. I want to thank our extraordinary Secretary of State, Susan Lee. I want to thank our extraordinary Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller, who serves as both my partner inside the work and also one of Maryland's 10 electors. A lot of hats, she wears them all brilliantly. And all of us here today not only promise to fulfill this legal duty, but also to reaffirm the essence of our democracy and to reaffirm the rights of all of our citizens. The voters of Maryland have made their election decisions clear. And our state and local election boards fulfilled their mission to ensure that those voices were heard, and it is an honor to stand before you with this important task of casting Maryland's electoral votes in the 60th meeting of the Electoral College. And as governor, my role is to declare the winning electors from this November election. This is done by the issuance of 7 certificates of ascertainment signed under the state of the seal of Maryland, and each certificate of ascertainment lists the names of the electors chosen by the voters, the number of votes they will receive, the names of all other candidates for elector, and the number of votes that they received. That signed certified document has been sent over to the Archivist of the United States prior to this meeting in accordance with federal law. Now, with that bit of technical did my job, Jared. I want to end my remarks just by speaking directly to the electors. You all represent the voice of the people of this state. Your role in this process of ensuring the fundamentals that the will of the people of this state will be heard and respected, is tantamount to anything else that we do. And as you proceed in your work this morning, let us all remember and give thanks for the great responsibility that you bear and the honorable way in which you are doing the work. You are here today as part of a long and a proud legacy that has shaped our country. It's what makes us unique. It's what makes us special. It's what makes our American democracy not just the envy of the world, but the model for so many other nations. That we do not just elections and making sure that people, that their voices are heard, but that we also do peaceful and safe transitions of power. That one of the greatest gifts that we have is that every 2 or 4 or 6 years, depending on the race, that people's voices are heard. Their insight is needed. They choose the direction. And our job is to make sure that it is heard and respected. So I look forward to a smooth meeting. And I am so thankful, again, for your commitment to this incredibly important issue. With that, we'll return back to the business at hand. And I want to turn it back over to the clerk of the Supreme Court of Maryland, Gregory Hilton, who will conduct the official swearing in of our state's electors. Thank you, sir.
Electors, please rise. Please face me and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I,
Do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of presidential elector
execute the office of presidential elector
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ken Ullman, Chair of the Maryland Democratic Party. And pursuant to Election Law Article 8503, as the presiding officer of the Democratic Party of the state of Maryland, it's my honor to certify the presidential electors to the state board. So that was official. And thank you, I saw the notification. My next role is to introduce the electors. Before I do that, let me echo the governor's sentiments in thanking Jared for your work, and to all of the folks who work at the State Board of Elections who are here and those who are not here. Let me just again thank you for the job that you do. As we all know, your job has become harder than it's ever been.
Yes.
And thank you for safeguarding democracy. And I'd like everyone to please come on. Thank you all again. Next. All right, so you've seen them stand and raise their hands. You've seen them sign the official book. Now you're get to know who they are. So let me just introduce you to our 10 electors. And again, thank you to each of you for agreeing to serve, and thank you for being who you are and your commitment to our democracy and our state. First, Aruna Miller, our Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Maryland, who is at bar. Next, Charlene Dukes from the 4th Congressional District. Charlene, Vice Chair of our party, and former Chair of our party, Michael Cryer from the 2nd Congressional District. Next, from the 6th Congressional District, State Delegate Chris Fair. My home in the 3rd Congressional District, Jessica Nichols. Technically our host for the day, our county executive from Anne Arundel County in the 5th Congressional District, Stuart Pittman. From the 5th Congressional District in Southern Maryland, David Salazar. From the 6th Congressional District, Tom Slater. From the beautiful Eastern Shore of Maryland, the 1st Congressional District, Judy Wickstead. And from the 7th Congressional District, Charlotte Wood. It's now my honor to call on our County Executive, Stuart Pitt.
Well, I stand to nominate as president of this body our amazing Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller. I'm told that Robert's Rules of Order had not been published at the time that this body first met, so I do not need a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to nominate Charlene Dukes as the Vice President of Secretary, just like I said, Secretary of... We are not following Robert's Rules of Order. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Thanks.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I rise as the president of Maryland's Electoral College, and I just want to thank you all for taking a part in this very historic day. Also want to congratulate every one of the electors for being selected to represent the great state of Maryland. And thank you to the State Board of Elections and Jared Demarinis for your incredible leadership. So I am going to call a voice vote for Kamala Harris for President of the United States and Coach Tim Walz as Vice President of the United States. Thank you. Right?
Well,
So
yes.
all,
Well, in favor. First president. We'll just do president, then vice president.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry about that.
That's
All right, so I call a voice vote for President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay.
Vice president.
We did it.
Good morning still. And I rise, Charlene Dukes, as the Secretary of the Electors, to call for a voice vote for the Vice President of the United States, Tim Walz. Aye. Aye. See, you have to be loud.
And so now the fun starts for people that are watching. You're just going to see a bunch of people watch and sign documents. We're going to sign the certificate of vote. That is what's being passed around right now, so that they will be signing these, and then these are the documents that will be sent over to the President of the Senate to be read open on January 6th. So first up is going to be the signing of the certificate of vote. And then after that, there's going to be the signing of the seals for us to then seal it, to mail it to the President of the Senate. Yes. Enjoy.
I mean, I don't know, we could have had them all for them all. They did. So, only county that had two. In the book,
I mean, like, that's
Mine was straight high school, where like the design something, I want to do that. It's like there's 2 lines.
That's that right there.
You didn't tell me.
I knew you wouldn't have done it if I told you. That's the hardest thing you gotta do.
Back to the office, citations. By the way, this is just half the. They're not come by courier, that are out for us.
This reminded me of the auto.
Yes.
First job, I would say, was like, just put those things on. That's
straight in. You should see him.
I finally gave up on getting all the forms together and drove them out to sign citations, so now I have to stamp all of our signatures that drove.
So at the beginning, when there was. I'm sorry. You could just imagine that. Go there and do some
Yeah. Did they give you credit? No, I meant the no time.
No, I think he loves it. I think he makes. I lose my mind when he's He's like, I think that's like 5 hours. I think it's like 5 hours. I appreciate you. That was bigger or something. No, I think his picture was up. He thinks if anybody stops and talks about me, and I was on the party objective committee when I was president against Captain Mayor, as opposed to all these other guys. Oh, really?
That's Shaker pictures.
Already? Did not charge this one?
It was 90% in the car, and I've taken about 100 pictures.
Oh, okay.
Gotta hear my mom.
They got it. I think it's actually for you, yeah. Take the girl off the
And I'm like, well, that's a video, so yeah. And she went, oh, okay. Oh, God, I'm gonna be on
Up there too.
She is. And then 44.
Part of his contract.
Okay, what did my mom keep doing this? Get back to
I should probably save them a bunch of money.
Never drove.
That's, I mean, he's also old too.
What's up?
I was just hearing that. The last one.
The last one being
It's nice to meet you in person.
Everyone should know, we finished signing the certificate of vote, and now they're signing the seal for us to now seal the envelopes with it. Go back to them.
Oh, so it's the right? Maybe not 40. Well, it's not 40. I heard 40.
For proceedings.
We just gotta get it to work.
You guys should stand to the side for a second. We're going to do a group photo. I just don't want the backs of your heads to be in. If I get you guys to stand to the side just for a minute, I don't want the back of your heads to be in the picture. Sir, if you wouldn't mind. You guys are fine here. It's just like those couple. Yep, folks, if I can get your attention right up here, sign the last one. We're going to take a couple pictures and then we'll get y'all out of here. Right here for me. I'm going to take a couple. Awesome. Thank you all very much.
Yay!
No, not quite yet. The lieutenant governor just has to.
Okay, I want to thank everyone again, and I adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
We got my access.
Where's